Welcome to the Four Visions Market Podcast, a space built on the principles of integrity and reciprocity. Together, we will engage in thought-provoking conversations about plant medicines, why these plants are coming out of the rainforest, jungles, and mountains after thousands of years, and what it means to be in right relationship with the ancestral wisdom cultures and guardians of these traditions. I'm your host, Mariah, founder and director of Four Visions Market. This podcast is the natural evolution in our commitment to providing you, our tribe, with incredible resources to support you on your healing journey through plant medicines. Welcome home. Welcome back, Four Visions family. I'm thrilled to bring you another powerful episode this week with Delfina Moon, ceremonial artist and medicine woman. Delfina's music and art carry the healing, transformation, and the great mystery of praying with the sacred plants of Mother Earth. Since Delfina was very young, she has dedicated herself to serving and studying master plants, traditional indigenous ceremonies, and visionary arts. Delfina's music combines sacred chants from indigenous lineages with her own medicine music compositions. Her dedicated study of the ancestral voice is influenced by her southern roots in Puelmapu and enhanced by her spiritual studies in the Amazon rainforest. She travels the world sharing through traditional ceremonies, music, and art to spread seeds of peace and love for Mother Earth, highlighting indigenous wisdom and a sacred way of living. We talk a lot about the creative process of art, what it means to live life in connection, inspiration, and beauty, as well as the inspiring work she's doing with her partner, Xinachtli, in their new initiative, Xinachtli. Enjoy today's special episode, my friends. When working with powerful plant allies and teachers, we're given a new awareness and a deeper understanding of ourselves, the world around us, and the energies in our lives. One of the most challenging parts of working with plant medicine is integrating the experience. In ceremony, our plant teachers show us the path, but it is then our responsibility to take action in our daily lives. Mushroom microdosing has helped me tremendously in this process, allowing me to keep messages and insights from ceremony in the forefront of my awareness. This is key in the integration process because it helps us to bring the technology of the ancient wisdom we receive through ceremony into lasting, sustainable transformation and change. If you are looking for the right place to source high-quality, ethical, made-in-prayer mushroom microdoses, look no further. Four Visions Market is proud to endorse Connect Chocolate in their 30-day microdose protocol. Visit connectchocolate.life and use the code FVFamily for 10% off your first order. According to a journal published by the National Library of Medicine, individuals who microdose describe a wide variety of psychological benefits, including enhanced creativity, increased energy, improved social ability, sharper focus, stronger analytical thinking, more positive mood, improved memory, and increased mindfulness and general sense of well-being. Connect Chocolate was founded by a member of the Four Visions community, and their mission is to cultivate kinship with earth and spirit. This 30-day at-home treatment will take you on a journey to support your emotional, spiritual, and mental well-being. Go to connectchocolate.life or visit the link in our show notes. And remember to use the code FVFamily for 10% off your first order. Welcome, Delfina. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's lovely to meet you, and thank you for being here with us.
Hola, hermana. Gracias. Thank you. Thank you. Nice to meet you.
So lovely to put a face to someone whose art I have admired for many years and whose music I've listened to. It's been such a pleasure through this podcast getting to come into contact face to face with the medicine community all over the world. And so I feel that way connecting with you.
Thank you. Big admiration, Mariah, for bringing so many people of different nations together. That's always very, very positive in my perspective.
Thank you, love. Well, let's get right into it. I would love to begin our conversation today learning a little bit more about you, your origin story, and a little bit about your work and your path.
Okay. Bueno, my name is Delfina Akara Huitzilcuicani, and I was born in Puelmapu, Gununatuk. This is known also as Argentina and the Patagonia, and the people over there. I remember growing up in the mountains. There's caves with paintings made with earth that are over 10,000 years old, and this is where I grew up. And over there also a lot of the memory of the people has been affected by the colonization process in many ways. So my journey growing up was trying to understand what had happened, you know. And yeah, I remember when I was about 10 years old, I found the feather of a condor. And I'm very grateful to this day that my mother kept it for me, you know, because at the time I didn't understand what it meant. And today I use it in every ceremony.
Mm.
My mother over there, she was working for the United Nations as I was growing up as a translator. And that's how I learned English as well. And she would translate like live translations that I think I saw you do that too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she was doing that for different indigenous people. And that's how I started understanding, you know, that there were more nations and that there was a dominant culture that was imposed amongst everyone, but there was a way around that. And then as I was finishing high school, I met a little community in Argentina that was using this plant of known as ayahuasca, uni, para and it helped me a lot because it opened up my memory, which, you know, I was struggling a bit as a teenager. So the plant, the medicines, they gave me my roots back, my connection to the earth again. So I've always been very grateful, and from that moment on I dedicated to studying first inside my community, and different pages would come, mainly from the Brazilian side of the forest, and then going there into the Amazon and staying, you know, deepening with the dietas and the different initiations of the people, mainly with the Yawanawa, and more recently with the Madiha, the Kulina people. And like this, I saw that this medicine, it helped me, and it was helping my people to recultivate our ancestrality and be one with the earth again. And so I just gave my life to that. And I was always painting like this things around me. It was something very natural for me my whole life. But the medicines, they gave more spirit, you know. They helped me to connect more deeply, and opened up my vision, my talents, my voice also. I had gone through a few moments you could say like traumas throughout my life that my voice was quieted, you know, like that happened a lot. We were silenced as people. And then the medicine, it opened that up again. In my second ceremony, I started singing. It was a funny moment. Um, my my friend, my teacher at the time, he was just singing in the ceremony, and then I was very deep inside the fort, and I started singing over him in my second ceremony, and then I realized what happened. I wasn't used to singing, and then yeah, the spirit of the mother came and opened my voice again, and guiding me to this moment where we're gonna release the second album. So imagine that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Hmm. What a beautiful evolution. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Your path has been very blessed and I'm sure full of a lot of sweetness and challenges as well. But when I also came to the plants very young and similar age as you, where I was really just figuring out what my life was going to be about. And the plants also, informed the entire trajectory of my life, similar to how you're sharing. And so, what a beautiful blessing to have the blessing to be accompanied by the plants and to learn from them and walk with them from such a young age, and now to be in service to them through your work, your art, and through all of the beautiful initiatives that you are planting and weaving in this life. What a beautiful gift.
Gracias, Mariah. Yeah, well, I see you were probably around the same age. Then when I came up here to the north, maybe like 5 years ago, I started coming more and discovered, like a lot more of this continent, what I like to call Abya, and met the peoples, the Mexica peoples and the Huiras and the Mayans. And it was a big expansion. But I was saying about our age because at one point I heard about the prophecy of the Condor and the Eagle, and that it happened in 1992. So I was born in that year, 1992. And yeah, around the time I was born, there was this great meeting of the elders where they were saying that the people of the north and the people of the south will meet at the center, and then the unity of the nations was gonna help the transformation that humanity was needing to bring the roots back, bring the medicines back, bring the spirit back to the earth, to the people. So I guess, I feel like this is a generation, that we were born around that time and are bringing this message, expanding it, in different ways. You with your project, and me in what I do as well.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. I love how you shared that. And yes, very resonant. We're living in a really special time, right? It's this incredible gift to be on this earth at this time when there is this exchange of cultures, of wisdom, of tools, of access. Things that our ancestors could have only dreamed of, we're now living it. And what that means as the responsibility that it is, as well as the opportunity. And for me, it's been to always constantly return back to this treading lightly and really going with a lot of reverence for the ancestral cultures that are opening themselves to us at this time, and this transference of culture, exchange of culture that you spoke about within the Condor Eagle prophecy. And I'm curious if you feel called to expand a little bit on any teachings or insights that you've gained through your work with traditional peoples all over the world. You've mentioned you have had the opportunity to study and work with many different indigenous peoples, as well as you now living in Costa Rica, having this opportunity to share more with the West, traveling all over the world as well, sharing with Westerners and people from all over the world. What are some wisdom that you can share with us, or some observations that you've had about the ways in which our cultures maybe are different, as well as, you know, things that we can both learn from the differing ways of life, as well as whatever else comes to your heart from your studies and your life experiences?
I can say for me, the moments that have been more expensive, and also the people that I feel I learned the most from, are the people that just share a lot of love. You know, it doesn't really matter so much how much they've studied, and, you know, how fluently they speak their language, and how preserved this is, or, you know, how many ceremonies, how much medicine they eat or drink.
Mm-hmm.
But I met people that share with a lot of love, for a lot of love for the earth, and love for the people, you know, love for the people, love for the nations. And, like, you know, my teacher, now that I was in the Amazon with him, Mana Madiha, his peoples were contacted only, like, 30-40 years ago. And the type of healing work that he does is, involves a lot of giving from him, you know, when he removes sicknesses from people. And I see him do that. And any person that comes in front of him, he doesn't see the color of their skin or their age, or if it's a woman or a man, but he goes and he does this, and he wants to bring the healing back into the body. So that, to me, it shows a lot of humility, a lot of love. And that's where what I learned the most, you know, is, he has no discrimination in his heart.
Mm-hmm.
And that for me is expanding, you know. It's not all the
Mm-hmm.
time. And even with many different nations, like Western people or Native people or the mixed, everyone, you know. But this teaching of love is what moves me forward. Yeah.
Mm. I love that. It's so simple, but so true, and so resonant. And yeah, I feel the love in the work that you're offering through your music, through your art, the colors that you work with, and the sounds that come through you is from this vibration of humility, of clear channel. You are an incredibly clear channel, and through your years, you can see, you know, you've cultivated this and continue to weave this tapestry of light in the way that life wants to come through you. And so I would love to hear a little bit more about your creative process. You know, like you mentioned that story of the voice awakening, opening, activating on the second ceremony. That's very common for people through the medicine, right? And through the work with the plants, that we get access to our creative potential, because the medicine strips away so much of the ego, so much of the blockages that are getting in our own way, essentially, of letting the force of life come through us. And you are a perfect example of someone who has learned how to do that. And I would love to hear you share a little bit more about your creative process, as well as any insights you have for those of us who are also cultivating our gifts and are maybe in earlier stages of it, whether it be physical art creation or song, music. But I think that it's always really inspiring to hear from someone who has tapped into that place and has cultivated an art through that practice.
Hmm. Well, for me, I think this is the natural way that we are, you know, that we are singing people,
Mm.
and that we are dancing also, that we are painting. It's very natural for the woman to use their hands, to be weaving, to be painting, to be doing different things like this. I think it is of the natural process, is the natural way of being as humans. And I think for me, well, I'm a woman, so like I can value also from the perspective of a woman for the the places where I lived at with, different indigenous nations. The women have always been the carriers also of a certain vision and like the art crafts. So I feel this is very rooted inside of us, and it's just remembering it's inside of you. So I guess we might tend to look for a lot outside, and I think each person already has it, and it's just nurturing that inside of us. And then for me, I think like every moment is an inspiration. It's very easy for me to be inspired. I find there is a lot to be inspired from in life. I don't
Mm.
have to look very far.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure everyone can have that, and already has that. It's just like an eye opening. But for example, this painting behind me, it's of the hummingbird, and I have this name that my relatives here in the north gave me, Huitzilcuicani. It's the singing hummingbird. So for me, like when something comes, and then together comes a song and a vision, a painting, comes even a dance, comes many things. And the whole expression is not like one or the other. Everything comes together. It's the energy of the inspiration of the moment. So I received this name, and we we said it to the four directions in ceremony. And then I made these two paintings, and I met this lady. She told me a story about the hummingbird. So then, I took in this energy and just created. I have a song for the hummingbird that we're going to release in the next album too.
Mm.
And so yeah, it's just, being present in the moment with what comes, and then you decide, if you want to let that energy move through you, express and create, be the natural creators that we are.
Mm-hmm. Mm. That's so beautifully said. And I love that so much. It's tapping into this natural way, as you said, and the way that we're designed. And I think that for some people, it's easier to get inspired. And for you, you said the inspiration is all around you, and that's beautiful. I'm curious what maybe you would recommend for someone who's looking for that inspiration, who's wanting to see the beauty in life all around us, and maybe is having trouble connecting with that beauty on a daily basis, right? Not just for like the creation of art, but also to be able to live in this beauty all the time. Because I look at your art and I see someone who has cultivated the beauty way, living in beauty and walking in beauty. And this is an incredible skill to cultivate that we are all wanting to attain. So I'm curious what you might say to someone who is looking for that beauty and might be struggling to find it.
Well, I can say what I did today. I can tell you how was my day today, because today I had a really beautiful, very inspiring day. Um, so today I woke up with my partner, and then I always make a smoothie for us. And my friend, she does this mushroom ceremonies. When I came to the north, I started getting to know more about the medicines here, right? So she left us some of her mushrooms. She said very good for your mind, and connect you to the forest with the spirit. And so I made a smoothie and I put some of these mushrooms. And I didn't know what the amount was that I had to put, so I just like intuitively put it. So then in the morning we went with my querido, we went riding our bikes down the beach, and then wow, I feel so good. I feel like, and then I was like, oh, it's this mushroom that our friend gave us, like, and we were just smiling, riding our bikes like this and looking at the sunset. So for me, like these plants and the spirits of the medicine, they are part of my life every day.
Mm.
And for me, it's a natural way to live also. Um, so I connect with the spirit of a medicine, or I go to the ocean, because right now I'm living by the ocean, but before I was living in a forest. And wherever I am, I look for this moment, of prayer, and then it comes. But to be in that presence, I think it's helpful now when you want to be creative, you want to sing, you want to paint, and then there are spirits in nature that help us. When I'm in the forest, for instance, when I'm studying, there's also specific dietas that we do to learn how to paint or to learn how to
Mm.
sing. And then, for example, with the Yawanawa, the spirit of the boa, the serpent, and she has all the designs in her body. She helps, to develop these skills. So the answer is always in nature, right?
Mhm.
The animals, the plants, the elements.
Mm. So beautiful. Mhm. And now for our weekly giveaway segment. Today's lucky winner is going to be winning a bottle of our brand new, recently launched Plant Allies Agua de Florida Protection Lotion. Healing lotions and Florida waters are some of my favorite ways to connect with the plant allies and to bring us deeper connection with nature. And really, there's so many incredible benefits from working with healing lotions. And I love to utilize them in my meditation, prayer, and rituals, as well as for offerings. And it's just an incredible tool to have whenever we need to clean or cleanse ourselves. Really wonderful, especially when traveling and when we can't utilize smudging agents so readily. These incredible magical liquids are full of so many incredible, beautiful tools and plant allies. And so this one we have made special, and it's a recent addition to our apothecary. And we really wanted to create one that was going to be a protection lotion specifically for purification and to ground. And so, in this special Plant Allies Protection Agua de Florida, you will find Palo Santo, frankincense, myrrh, white sage, sweetgrass, cedar, tobacco, vetiver, and biodynamic homegrown flower essences. And it is preserved in rose water and organic alcohol. So it's a really special one. And we brought it to the apothecary with a lot of excitement, knowing that as we go expanding our line, really having a diverse and really full healing lotion and floral water line was something that we really wanted to be able to provide for our community, because there is different moments to use each lotion. And so for this one, this is really beautiful for freshening the energy, cultivating spiritual protection. And it's really just a wonderful tool to have to connect with this freshness and purity. Whenever you work with healing lotions, we encourage you to place the liquid in your hands and set your intention before you apply it, whether you're blessing an artifact or a sacred item, or you're blessing yourself, your body. And so when you place it in your hands, you can blow over it, and then your breath and that prayer of the breath of life that you hold is infused and embedded into the water and into the liquid. And then you can apply it to your heart, to your crown chakra, to anywhere else that you feel called to work with the lotion. So that's a little bit about how to use it. And now for our lucky winner this week, we are stoked to gift a bottle of this brand new medicine to Keith Medina 2377, who writes, first time giving the Four Visions Market podcast a listen. After trying their tools and plant medicine, I knew everything that they produce will be of high quality. I've tried their nervous system tincture, nettle or ortiga tincture, their vitality tea, and more. And through Four Visions, I found Connect chocolate and had my first magic mushroom experience, and it blew me away. It was so powerful and insightful. Being an inner city kid from the Bronx, this podcast is completely in alignment with my healing journey. Between the plant medicine from Four Visions, my weekly Saturday trips upstate to a forest to work with the mushrooms, and the insightful wisdom that comes to this podcast, I am extremely grateful. Can't thank Mariah and the team enough. I've been healing, pivoting lifestyle changes for the better. It's not easy, but it's worth it. Wow, Keith, what a beautiful testimony to the powerful transformation that the plants can bring us and provide. So thank you so much for your kind words. And I'm so happy to hear that you've been connecting with the mushrooms, and that all of these plant medicines and tools have been supporting your healing journey and awakening and remembrance back to the heart. That's why we're here. That's why we do what we do. And thank you so much for taking the time to leave us a review. Please reach out to our support team at the podcast at fourvisionsmarket.com to coordinate the delivery of your package. To enter the ongoing raffle, all you need to do is write an honest review of our podcast, either on iTunes or YouTube. Sorry, Spotify, Google Podcast users, they don't allow for written reviews on those platforms, so please head over to iTunes or YouTube to leave your written review. And that's it. Each week, we'll announce a new winner, read their honest reviews on the show, and give away some awesome products. And now, back to today's conversation. Would you be willing to share a little bit about the dieta or dietas that you've done with the Yawanawa for learning how to paint? Because we actually received some kujmas painted by Hushahu Yawanawa, and we have some in the marketplace. And I know that there's a dieta that's done, but I'm not super familiar with the process. I would be really interested to hear a little bit more.
Yeah, Hushahu is a good friend of mine. I love her very much, and she's helped me a lot, and she's taught me a lot too. She has a very dedicated study of the voice, very dedicated. I really admire her dedication to the language and the songs of her people. And she taught me songs that I sing today in ceremonies. I did some dietas with her and her family. And yeah, she's opening some more, and she's also a very skilled artist. So there's the Yawanawas, they do, for the people, you're just starting, you go to your first dieta, it's a prayer. It's a prayer that is done. The first one is called Mama. It's the yuca, like mandioc.
Mm-hmm.
It's a drink, and then she prays. The person prays. You know, the person that knows how to pray prays for you to develop your intention, whatever your
Mm-hmm.
intention is. If it is to open up your visions and your painting skills, or many times it's to open up your voice and learn the songs. Or sometimes
And she
people
prays
need to
over
hear.
the ceremonial drink. Like it's like chicha, I would think. It's like the Colombian chicha that we drink. It's very
Well, that's
similar to
more
that.
like fermented, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's fermented.
Yeah, but this is not fermented. You prepare it
Okay.
ceremonially for that, and yeah, there's a prayer done for the individual that is entering into the dieta, and then for 15 days you stay in one place. You know, you stay a little bit more isolated, and you develop. You know, if you're singing, you have to sing all the time, and you pray, you do your rapé, you connect to the medicines, and then, you know, there's the ceremony, and you listen to the people singing, and you have your visions. You know, the medicine is there, it's helping you. And then you dream also, and your dreams, they show you how you are developing throughout your dieta, your samakui.
Hmm. Very beautiful.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Hushahu, she's super talented artist.
Mm-hmm.
She paints those dresses. She makes amazing paintings. I actually did in her house. I did three paintings last year there, hmm
Mm.
with her. And then I was painting, and then she'd tell me, "Oh, I had a vision just like that." And but I was gonna paint this lady with a butterfly here, and then she told me, "I saw this woman, but she had a little hummingbird here, and then it came out and it flew away, you know." And then so I changed the butterfly and put the little hummingbird to kind of bring her into it.
Mm-hmm. Lovely. Hmm. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about your album that you have coming up. I know you released your first album in 2021, and I'm sure that that was a very cathartic experience for you. I'm also working on an album, and I feel like it's this very long gestation process. And so I can imagine the birthing of those songs into the world was very big for you. And I'm curious to hear, how your journey with your music has changed, evolved, grown since you released that first album. And then if you want to share with us a little bit more about this upcoming album that you said is coming out this year.
Yeah, the first album is called Pájaro, and it was a big thing for me, because when I first started singing in the ceremonies, everything was very strictly for the ceremonies.
Mm-hmm.
And I would sing, even receive songs and all this, and everything was for the ceremony. And then in my mind, recording was not a possibility. So imagine, then it took me, you know, like, I don't know how long, 10 years or something, to be able to open my mind enough that I said, "Oh, let's record the songs so the people can hear them," you know. And mainly it was first with the idea that people come to ceremonies and then they can connect with that music after. And then also at one point I was traveling around so much that my own family back in Polmapu, they never, some of them had never even heard me sing. And
Mm.
then I was like, I hadn't seen my grandmother in so long, and I was like, I want her to hear this song, so I'm gonna record it for her. So I did the album thinking about them. And then I came back, and I did a ceremony for my family, and everyone everyone knew the songs, so everyone was singing together with me.
Oh,
You know, my little mis sobrinos, my primos, my tias, everyone knew my songs.
wow.
Yeah, so it was all, you know, for a really good reason. And then up to today, people write to me beautiful things, you know, about the music, that it helped them in moments in their lives. You know, maybe they were going through a moment and the music really helped them out.
Hmm.
So it made me feel good, you know. I was like, oh wow, I'll record another one
Hmm.
since helping people like that. So then coming here to the north, and now with my partner, my beloved Xinachtli, we started doing a lot of music together, and we decided to record an album together. So
Hmm.
we have 11 songs now, and mainly it's more of for the medicine of the desert, the blue deer, Hikurito, the peyote. And he had some of his own quadly greatest hits that people sing all over the place. Maybe you heard some of them. So there's a few
Hmm.
quadly hits and some new songs, prayers for the water and for the fire, for the sun. A very very different energy, right? Than the first one that is uh, the grandmother's embrace and the rebirth
Hmm.
from that, you know.
Hmm. Wow.
You're recording an album too?
Hmm. I am, yes, and it's such a labor of love. You never really understand what goes into an album until you do one and record one. But I just sending you so many blessings for this beautiful project that you and your beloved are releasing, and how special. Oh my goodness, what a dream to be able to share the music with your partner in that way and then bring it forth into the world, and for that music to heal hearts and be a balm of nectar that supports people in their healing journey. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful gift to be able to have found your partner in this life and to be creating that together. So wishing you and him many, many blessings in this endeavor and in your path together.
Gracias. Yeah, we're having a good time. We're having a good time doing it.
Yeah,
It's
sounds
good. It
really
is.
fun.
It is. It is an intense process, though. I started recording last year. It's already 1 year and a half in the making,
Hmm.
but it's good. I set my mind to just enjoy the process as much as
Hmm.
possible, you know, and flow. But it is a different feeling than when you're just in the ceremony, you know, singing
Hmm.
to the
Hmm.
spirit. And then when you're in the studio and all that, it is an experience, you know,
Yeah, and
a
I think like
learning.
the trick is like how do we evoke the spirit in that same way, and how do we bring in the ceremony when there's a microphone there, right? And it's I notice for me like finding myself becoming this completely different person as soon as the recording is on, right? But that's not the energy that I want to send through the music. So how to bring in the ceremony to the studio and to really create that connection and let it be the same connection that we evoke when we're in prayer and ceremony, letting the album be a prayer, which is definitely, a skill that comes with time, with cultivating and practice.
Yeah, it's a process. I have a song that I recorded the voice already 3 times,
Uh-huh.
and I still don't know what to do with it because I have one voice. It sounds like a walk in the park, you know, like very relaxed, and I it was the reference voice. It was just to
Hmm.
have the
The
reference,
guide.
and then yeah. So everyone loves this voice, and then I was like, yeah, but it doesn't have the strength, you know, that I like to put it in my voice, that that I feel when I feel the medicine, when I'm singing for the spirit. So then one day I ate some medicine and then I went to sing in a friend's house. And then my voice came out, with this a little bit more powerful, with more intention like that. And then we heard it and it was just it was too intense.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Too intense to listen to, like just, one day in your house.
Right.
So I was like, but this is a prayer, I want it to sound like a prayer. So yeah, I still haven't decided. And then there's another voice, but it is something to learn, and make a lot of decisions.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's like with these ceremonial songs, we're connecting to the force of nature and to creation and to these worlds that are so beyond the 3D. And then we get into contact with technology, right? And technology is kind of that buzz, that buzzing noise in the background that can sometimes throw off the divine tapestry of the perfection that lies in nature and in being these human beings. And so it's definitely a dance, but what an incredible gift to be playing with and exploring. And like you said, it sometimes it just requires patience and really understanding that you're navigating so many different places, the ceremonial space, the recorded album, and finding that place in the middle that feels in balance. It's very fun.
It is. It's good. I'm learning a lot. I have to say, in the
Mhm.
past 5 years that I went out of the forest, the Amazon. I didn't go back yet to Polmapu, and I'm around here where there's a lot of technology and a lot
Mhm.
happening. I've learned a lot of things. I can say that.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, it's a beautiful study to be in the world and to have the connection to the plants and the path firm within us, and then to go out into the world and test how firmly we are rooted to the path and how firmly we are rooted to spiritual practices, because it's so easy to cultivate them when we're in the dieta or deep in the jungle or with the connection so strong, and then to maintain that thread of connection when we're out in the world and doing the work that we're here to be doing. For me, it always is a really beautiful mirror of, showing me where I'm at in my process of integration.
Are you in Colombia?
We spend half the year in Colombia. Right now I'm in California visiting my family. Hmm.
Yeah, for me, coming to the States was a big thing, like almost like a cultural shock that I
Hmm.
went through when I first came. Um, Now today, I can have an interview. I can have an interview. I understand a little bit more of the language, in the sense not of the English language, but of the cultural language that
Yeah.
has bloomed, from the medicine people, and what is
Uh-huh.
happening, because I wasn't familiar with all this. I was a little bit more immersed in just the culture of the South, the native culture and the peoples, So
Hmm.
when I first came, I had to adapt a lot, adapt and
Hmm.
expand my mind. But getting to know the native peoples of the North was really what helped me, and the native medicines of the North.
Hmm.
Going to a sun dance also for the first time and things like this, understanding how the the peoples over here used to pray and are still praying today. This has been very helpful. And today, I was
Hmm.
telling my friend, she's a Chicana, the other day. Today, I get more, and how the the sisterhoods and the brotherhoods and how it all works here, that I can engage a lot more, understand the questions more, and what people go through, and even this processes of integration, you know,
Mm.
understanding that people need that, and why. Because for me personally, I like to be involved, in the practices, in the studies all the time,
Yeah.
and I like that to be a constant as much as
And
possible.
your lifestyle supports that, right?
Yeah. And then I see that there's people that live in the cities, and that have a different culture, and then they come into that for a moment, and then they go out, and it's like, what happened?
Right. Right.
Like a different planet. For me, it was like the opposite,
Totally.
coming into like into the movies. For me, it was like the movies, because people speak English, and like the things they do, like I had seen them in the movies. So for
Yeah.
me, coming to the States was like coming into a Hollywood movie.
Uh-huh. Very
Opposite
interesting.
process. Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, for the indigenous peoples, integration wasn't a thing and isn't a thing, right? Because it's just how they live, it's their lifestyle. But integration has become a very important need for the Western culture, as you said, right? People who are not maintaining that way all the time. And so little by little, people are waking up and wanting to go more back to living with the earth and choosing paths that are more in harmony, more in balance. But there's a gap from how they're currently living to the experience that they just had when they went down to the jungle, or whatever, experience they had that opened them up to this new way. So it's very interesting and beautiful to hear your reflection. And one of the things that really just stood out for me is the way in which you connected to the plant medicines and to the cultures of North America to help you to ground and integrate and find that balance. How beautiful and special to go to the Native American cultures of the North to find that guiding star, that guiding compass. I love that. And I would love to hear a little bit more about your studies with the Hikuri, the peyote, your partnership with a man from Mexico that kind of opened that door for you, and now a little bit about what is unfolding through your work with the medicines of the North and some of the other projects that you're cultivating.
hmm Yeah, it was definitely helpful, because I found an energy that I could relate to, that I felt more at home with, that I hadn't found yet. Even coming and doing ceremonies, uni, ayahuasca, and all that, and that was already opening for me. But I felt like I was visiting, like I was invited to come. And then when I met some of the native people, it not only helped me to feel more at home, but also it helped me in my own process of what had happened to our people where I come from, and seeing the reflection in another nation, and how their memory was, coming out again and flourishing again, and everything that they were doing to recultivate their own roots. It was very inspiring for me too, and it
Mhm.
helped me to, yeah, to just see that mirror and see that it's actually a process that we have been going through across the whole continent. And I had heard about it, I had heard about the things that happened to the people here, but to live it in presence, it was really mind expanding, and very helpful. And yeah, today, for instance, this was a really good week for us, because we planted over 100 trees here in the land. So this is what we're doing here in Costa Rica. We We have ceremonies in different centers around here where we share the Condor Eagle ways that we were talking about. My partner does his ceremonies, the peyote ceremonies, and then I do the ayahuasca ceremonies. So it's beautiful because it's not only the two medicines and their dialogue together, but also have the opportunity to be led by a man, and then by a woman, and both of us together. So I'm
Mm.
thankful for that in my life, and it also brought a lot of balance into my life. Being introduced to this medicine and to the culture, because it does complement the studies in a very, very good way, very grounding way. So with Quadly today, we are working on Xinachtli, and you were mentioning this to me. Xinachtli is a Nahuatl word that means the sprouting seed. So we say it's like the sprouting seed of native culture,
Mm.
Xinachtli. And I also like this word because Shina, for the Pano family group in the Amazon that is part, like the Yawanawas, the Huniquin, Shipios are all from the Pano. Shina is also like the mind and the heart, Shina. So I saw that this word was in it, and we chose this word to see our cultures sprout like that. In that moment in time, it's also like a moment when the night is turning into day, that they tell us it's a good moment to pray. There's a good
Mhm.
moment to pray. And inside of this project, we work with what we have always done, but we kind of brought it together into an organization. And so in the north, we have the peyote preservation project in Texas and Mexico. And what happens what has been happening over there is that because of a lot of agriculture practices, mining, this types of things that we know happen today a lot, not taking care of the environment of the land, the medicine gets destroyed, right? Cattle farming, the land gets destroyed. It starts drying also. And then there started to be a lot less medicine for the
Mhm.
people. The Huiras, they have this also in Wirikuta, right? And then all the people further up north, they're having the same process. So what we're doing today, we are trying to preserve the land, that it stays as it is, that the water doesn't dry, and that in case that there's medicine in places that we are aware that might have a process with machines coming in, we try to rescue the medicine, take it out and
Mhm.
plant it in places that's going to be safe. And then
Mm.
the native people can continue to have their ceremonies, you know. So this has been an important project. We've been putting a lot of energy into that and replanting a lot. And then in the south, we have my teachers from the Kulina, the Madiha. They came into contact around 40 years ago. So they're going through what a lot of the native peoples in the area, which is the border between Brazil and Peru of the Amazon, already went through. That when the West comes, a lot of things come with that. It's not only like deforestation and pollution and logging and mining, but it also brings like alcohol into the
Mhm.
communities and these types of things that are very harmful for the culture and for the people. So, we look for donations to help out with a lot of need. There's a lot of need for different things. Right now, for instance, this year we built two malocas, like the big ceremonial huts for the people, and now we're working on a clean water system because the rivers get polluted. So clean
Hmm.
water system, and then yeah, just helping out as much as possible. There's a lot, I could talk about a lot of things that need to be done, but that's the basic things that Xinachtli is covering. And then there's the cultural projects, like the music album is gonna be showing the heart, the music, the culture of Xinachtli, bringing that out, and our ceremonial center here in Costa Rica, where we feel it all comes together because it's at the center, right? The land of the quetzal, the land of the hummingbird, and
Mm.
a lot of beauty here. So we started doing our first ceremonies here together, and it's been a land that has held us very beautifully. So very thankful. And as we understand, also the Nahuatl language was also spoken here.
Wow.
So yeah, it feels good, to bring the native cultures more alive here. We have a plan also to meet with some of the native peoples here, and do well wherever we are. We try to have that contact, that alliance is a moment
Hmm.
of alliance of the peoples, and
Mm.
not just like arrive in a place and do something, but have have the unity of the people. We had a little tour here in Costa Rica a few years ago, and then we had some of the native people come to ceremony. Very beautiful.
Mm. So beautiful. I love hearing about the way in which your work has unfolded in this way, and so intentional, and so much unity and alignment on so many levels. So very beautiful. I know it takes time to cultivate the prayer, and just to hear you speaking of it all coming together, I'm just so inspired by the vision that you are holding with your partner. And I think that that will be a natural evolution of the direction that it goes. So special. And we'll definitely be including links in our show notes from this episode for people to learn more about the initiatives. And I did see on your website that there are opportunities to make direct donations if anyone feels inspired to support with any of these incredible projects. I love it. The rescue the buttons is kind of like the headline that I'm like getting, the little tagline, but rescue the buttons could be a really incredible campaign. I love what you
It's
guys are doing there.
literally what happens.
Uh-huh. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, we
And
have
I have a
videos of.
question.
Mm.
I have a question about that. So when you replant them, you said that the indigenous people can go and harvest them, or what is the protocol for sharing those medicines once they've been replanted? Who has access to them?
Right now they're being safeguarded by our relatives, the people that we know. We have a community over there that takes care of
Mm-hmm.
them. And then we do ceremonies, and then people come, and that's how it happens. Yeah, mainly in the
Mm-hmm.
ceremonies, but it's not. The native people over there, as I understand, have knowledge of where to find, the
Yeah.
medicine, and there's also official people that are distributors of this medicine, and there's a whole protocol about that. For us, we're in the stage where we see a lot of destruction happening, and
Mm-hmm.
then we are replanting to also, for we have kids, we have grandkids
Mm-hmm.
that eat the medicine, and that they should have that assured as well. And we see as well, the the change and how helpful it is for all the people that come to the ceremony. We do believe
Mm-hmm.
that we, the transformation of the situation that we have in humanity today throughout ceremony, throughout medicine.
Mm-hmm. Yes, 100%. And something so magnificent for us to be in this position where we get to safeguard the legacy of these ancestral medicines for the future generations to come, and so much righteousness in the work that you guys are doing, and really just want to acknowledge that and send you so much gratitude for the leadership that you and your partner are stewarding through these initiatives, and the ways in which you are in service to your community through the medicines and through the path that you're walking, and all of the incredible creative endeavors that you are bringing out into the world. It's such good medicine, and we are needing that at this time as humanity. We are desperately needing access to these healing tools, and healing can come in so many forms through an incredible music album or an inspiring piece of art that illuminates the altar of someone and brings color into the home. And of course, through the ancestral medicines and returning to connection with the land and harmony with nature. And so just really celebrating you, Hermana, and all the beautiful work that you are doing, and the beautiful woman that you are, and the path that you're walking. Just want to thank you so much for coming onto the podcast and sharing your medicine with us. It's been a pleasure to get to hear a little bit more about your journey and your work and your path. And just wishing you many, many blessings.
Wow, Mariah, thank you. I'm gonna call
Mm-hmm.
you every once in a while so you can, if I ever need someone to lift my spirit up. You're like a poet. You're like a poet.
Oh, muchas
Thank you.
gracias.
I appreciate it.
Mm,
Thank you for inviting me. Yeah,
mm.
blessings. Back to you, Mariah. Thank you.
Is there anything that you want to share with our listeners before you go? Anything else that you want to mention?
Well, we have Kauyumari. We have a song coming out on August 16th. So
Okay.
that's going to be a new single release, and then there's going to be more coming. And yeah, if people would want to see more of my artwork, I like that. For me, in word, I can express some, but I find that even more throughout my paintings and my music. So I think that's a good way to connect and perhaps understand a little bit more of everything that we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. We'll make sure to include those links in the show notes to your art prints and to your album and the upcoming single and all the good stuff that we've spoken about in today's episode. So thank
All
you.
right. Thank you too. Okay.
Yo soy hija de Tonantzin y por eso canto a todo lo que es sagrado.
From everyone at the Four Visions Market family, we would like to thank you for listening to our podcast. We really hope that you've enjoyed the conversation and gained many new insights on plant medicines, ancestral wisdom, and much more. Please remember to visit our website at www.fourvisionsmarket.com for more resources and information on plant medicine and spiritual tools. And please don't forget to follow us across social media for regular updates on upcoming episodes. We are grateful for your support and look forward to continuing this path with you all. Until next time, take care, stay present, and stay connected.